the debriefing video for the 12th of February 2024 meeting. A few changes early on in that we had a planning and zoning report and we had a secretary's report. So both staff reports, good information for informing people on what's going on, plans for the future, that type of thing. Under the visiting official updates, I expect that to get busy over the next handful of months as people start to campaign. I did have a voice message before the meeting from Commissioner Sear saying he wouldn't be able to make it, but he likes our meetings, so he left me a message. Then we had Christine from Bumstead's office that said the state legislators working on the budget. In the first public comment, we had Gene stand up and talk about him being nominated to be the alternate on board of review. And Robin talked about the property that was being considered for sale in Twin Lake and being careful with it, essentially. Next, we had our decision items. First one is VHS insurance for renewal, and this ended up passing. We had board review poverty guidelines. This has to be renewed every year when the year updates, and that ended up passing. We have the land sale policy, and that is to adjust in the policy itself. If something is 10 or more acres, the board accepts proposals along with the bid. Next, we had the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee resolution, and this ended up passing. So the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee now exists. The next item, we had the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee members. And this was a full slate of members to get that going, and all of those people passed, all of the people that were nominated. Next, we had the board review alternate member, which had been spoken on in the public comments, and Gene was appointed to that. Then we had the water policy resolution. This was to adjust the cost for meters, so it's just a pass-through cost because the prices change, and so it just passes the cost through. Next, we have the land sale request on 4th Street and East Street, and this passed 4-1, so to go to the next meeting. And then we have the Text My Gov vote, and this ended up not passing and failing 1-4. Then we had the discussion items, the first one being the budget, several different things discussed there, looking at raising rates on the transfer station fees, we'll end up raising some of those. I mentioned that road brining. I have to make sure I have enough money included in there. We're having a lot of road projects done, but it's budgeted differently. I might have cut a little too close to the bone on that item, so I'll have to increase that a little bit to make sure we're good and don't need a quarterly adjustment down the road. I'll include some explanation lines in the budget, some reasoning lines this year like I did last year, but not necessarily for every line, just where it makes sense. And raises will be according to a 2% basement with cost of living inflation, whichever one's higher, basically. Then we had the food sovereignty talk, and that no one necessarily had very strong opinions on it. So it seems like everyone's good with it moving forward, at least being pursued. Then we had talk about the mission of the township, and no super strong opinions or anyone opposed to what I proposed, but little talk on that. And then we had our second public comment. Karen mentioned that the Historical Society is up and running in Twin Lake, and they're getting more stuff going on that. People can join and help out in any way if you have historical things from the area as well. They are open to possibly looking at those. Robin talked about the transfer station passes. Those don't work on a calendar year, they work on a fiscal year. So they start on April 1st for the new year. Rachel talked about the library, various events happening there, maybe coordinating some meetup days over the summer. They're looking at launching a thing like that, and some people from the township could be there in case anyone has questions about what's happening in the township, that type of thing. Tracy mentioned that she's looking for ideas for increasing voter turnout. The Text My Gov was one, with that having failed. She's looking for other ideas to try to increase voter turnout. And Christy mentioned that the Fireworks Committee is looking for people to help out as well. And that adjourned our meeting. So if anyone has any questions, thoughts, ideas, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. My direct line to office is area code 231-332-6700 or email supervisor@daltontownship.org. Otherwise, this is Jeff, and signing off until next time.